With our second OG season having just wrapped and Chapter 6 launching earlier this week, it feels like the perfect time to give my thoughts on the recent remix of Chapter 2. Make sure to drop a like if you enjoy and subscribe if you're new here, and comment down below which OG season you like more, Chapter 1 or Chapter 2. With that said, let's just jump straight into this retrospective of Chapter 2 Remix. When Fortnite first tried their OG experiment last year, bringing back the Chapter 1 map for a month, people were hyped. The game saw a player count it hadn't seen in years and proved to be very successful. With that in mind, they quickly arranged for us to have another OG experience this year, this time going back to the Chapter 2 island. While the game first blew up in Chapter 1, a lot of people began playing during Chapter 2, since everything was locked down at the time and not a lot of people were leaving the house often. This makes the Chapter 2 map the first map that a lot of players landed on. So there's a big part of the Fortnite community that'd be super happy to revisit the Chapter 2 island, and that's exactly what we just got, and I'm here to complain about it. Let's start off with the map changes. Instead of going season by season, week by week, similar to the last OG season, they kinda just kept us in Chapter 2 Season 2, but added a few things from other seasons. Instead of starting with Season 1, we started in Season 2, but the Grotto and Shark were both missing, and it took 2 weeks for them to both finally be added. And then the next week we got Catty Corner, which was the only Season 3 spot that we got. No Fortilla, no flooded or even partially flooded map, and worst of all, there was no Coral Castle. Them going through only the first 3 seasons, and to be honest, it was really just Season 2. Compared to the 5 seasons that we saw in the original OG season last year, it really felt like a letdown. Although they did a really good job capturing the Chapter 2 magic of having barely any map changes on the island. Alright, the loot pool on the other hand was a banger. I'll never complain about being able to use the only good set of weapons in this game. Most of the Chapter 3, 4, and 5 shotguns, SMGs, and ARs are trash. That's my opinion. I don't care for the bullet drop weapons. I don't care for weapon mods. I don't like the shotguns they've been adding recently. Just give me the pump, man. Just give me the pump. The OG loot pool, the Scar, Pump, Tac, OG SMGs, they just feel the most solid to me in my opinion. And then you got some things like cardboard boxes, boogie bombs, grapplers, decoys, and some of the mythics, and we're just having a fun time. It was a great loot pool. I'm really interested to see what other people's thoughts are on this because, in my opinion, this battle pass is mid. Seriously really boring. The first OG pass went so hard, with mashups of some of the most iconic skins that all had really clean designs. Compared to these skins, I don't care for Sky, TNTina, or One Ball. I think the first two are just boring, and One Ball has a weird color palette with no styles. Everyone thought that he would have a lot of styles and be customizable like Spectra Knight, but nope. And Meowdis is just one of the ugliest skins I have ever seen in this game. Chaos Director isn't bad, it's just a female version of Chaos Agent, which is a skin I already like, so how were they gonna fumble that? Most of the skins in this battle pass I feel like just look like any old item shop skin. Let me know what you guys think of the battle pass though, maybe this one just wasn't for me. And while you're there, could you also tell me how the hell we even got to the Chapter 2 island? And then how we got from that island to the Chapter 6 island? I can't tell what the storyline's supposed to be at all anymore. And that's not the biggest deal ever, it's a battle royale game, I'm just here to fight people. But the fact that they did have a storyline that would build up events, then change the map, it makes it more annoying that it feels like it's been abandoned or is way too complicated. Back in the OG days, something would be happening on the map you could go visit or see. It usually teased what was happening next or would be the cause for the next season. Nowadays, it just feels like they're throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks. We went from the Chapter 5 map to the Chapter 2 map overnight, and then a month later went from Chapter 2 to Chapter 6 with no explanation. If anyone knows how we got from Chapter 5 to Chapter 2, and then Chapter 6, please let me know. I don't know if I'm in the minority here, and I don't care about trying to talk to an NPC and learn lore mid-game, because that's how they're doing it nowadays, and I don't care for it. I also find it very poetic that we started and ended the season with very mid concerts. The Prelude event was just a live stream of a Snoop Dogg and Ice Spice concert, and it sucked. Might be the worst event of all time. I mean, like, we got to look at a screen. How exciting. The one that ended off the season was definitely better, but it was just a rip-off of the Travis Scott concert. Making all the artists big and dance around on the island. There were some cool effects, a lot of reused assets, and some alright songs. Overall, not what I was expecting for an end-of-chapter event. That is 2 back-to-back chapter-ending events that had nothing to do with the story. It just felt like something that someone made in creative. If you like the music, that's one thing, but just seeing the big character models on the map doesn't get me hyped. It was cool when they did the first time with the Travis Scott event, but that was just because we hadn't seen that before. But also that same season that we did get the Travis Scott concert, we got an actual story-based live event. It wasn't just the concert like we just saw. I remember thinking that being back on the Chapter 2 island wasn't going to be that bad, and the reason I hated it was because Chapter 2 lasted so long with barely any map changes. But no, this map is unbearably mid. Reload was the saving grace for the season once again. I wasn't super hyped originally when I heard we were going back to Chapter 2. I have a video about that right here you could check out. I thought it was going to be whatever, but then the whole season just ended up being a big ad for Fortnite Festival mode. The whole music-centric idea wasn't wasn't really for me, and they picked really random artists to be the focus of a Fortnite season. Overall, Chapter 2 Remix wasn't the worst season ever, but they could have had it be so much more interesting if they actually used more aspects from other seasons rather than just focusing on Chapter 2 Season 2. If we had seen the primal parts of the map or the desert, or if they flooded it, the map would have been a little bit better. It just got super stale super fast in my opinion. But the second OG season is in the past now, and we have the original map coming back permanently real soon. So I'm excited for that. If you watched this video to the very end, I appreciate you. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a like if you enjoyed. Comment down below if you agree with me or not, and tell me what your favorite parts of the season were if you did like it. That's all from me, and I'll catch you guys real soon.